Coming to you, pre-recorded from a single location. There ain't no fucking like motherfucking. We're your hosts, Andrew and Nathan, and this is Hella Rad. Nathan, how you doing? What are you drinking?
Doing really good because I'm actually here sitting with my friend Andrew in person at a studio. My buddy Paul helping with production.
Undisclosed location.
In an undisclosed location. There's a cracking of a beer. We're drinking Stella Artois in the studio, having a good time. And it's we're launching Hella Red 2.0, which is everything is completely different in the sense that nothing has much changed except that we're in the same location.
The same, but different, you know.
Yeah.
What do you got for non-sponsors for us today?
So with the resurgence of football season, I've been watching a lot of TV, and there's a lot of commercials involved with that. And Domino's has been especially annoying, especially obnoxious. The latest commercial that I saw that really irked me was that they have this delivery insurance, and they were showing, I mean, let's face it, this is all fake and scripted, but let's assume that what they're showing us is supposed to be real. These people have had an issue, and they just say it as general as that. They had an issue with their delivery, and so then they send out a fleet of these recovery drivers, these these foot soldiers of Domino's delivery, and they're all fucking being filmed, of course, conveniently being filmed, and they're giving these people that probably lied and just bitched to try to get free shit anyways in the first place, free, like a free medium pizza or something. They're like, oh my god, thank you so much, oh my god, it's a free pizza. And I'm like, first off, just the whole trend of Domino's has been kind of annoying. Like, I'm glad that you changed your pizza. They did that a few years ago. I'm like, because it was dog shit. And now it's
Let's
just like
cover it in garlic and butter.
Yeah, it's a little.
I needed to do.
Yeah, it's a little bit better than dog shit now. So props to you on that. But then the whole like sentimental value, which let's grant, most pizza places are actually guilty of this now as well. But it's not a feel good story. It's not a feel-good story when I order a fucking large Domino's to myself, like, on a day where I'm just, like, sitting there alone. Just, like, eating a fucking full pizza alone. I don't want the commercials to make me be like, oh, you know, we got this Stop trying to make me feel good. Fucking, I'm just buying a pizza. I don't give a fuck if you have insurance. I don't give a fuck if, like, you're trying to give into some cause, or you're trying to be like, oh, we're cool with different races having sex with each other. Like, why do you give it's a pizza? Remember that commercial? Well, there was the Subway one, but there was, like, a pizza commercial. They had, like, all this diversity, and they were, like, you couldn't tell what the fuck they were, the commercial was for, because it's just all this, like, multicultural, like, picnic, and they're all eating pizza, and then at the end, you're like, what? Well, why does this have to do with
that was a Subway commercial. I remember which one you're talking about, where it's like, no, maybe I'm thinking of a different one, but it's just so fucking far out of left field, and at the end, it's like, Subway.
Yeah, maybe I just have a more general problem with the idea of these food, pizza, Subway, whatever it is. Like, why are you trying to appeal to me emotionally?
Don't get artsy. Just fucking show me your slop and fucking put your logo at the end. Like, that's all I need to see. I saw this. I think it was like I find it weird that you'll go to a meme site and it'll be screenshots of people's tweets, and so you're seeing a picture on a meme website that's a fucking screenshot from another website, like really convoluted. But it was some guy complaining to like Domino's or Pizza Hut. He's like, you sent me a fucking a plain ass pizza with no toppings on it. And then he responds like a couple minutes later, like, my bad, I opened the box upside down. And
what? He's like, all I saw was this dough. And I was like, fuck, bitch. Where's my fucking... He probably got the lamest toppings here. He probably got, like, the worst pizza, like a Hawaiian pizza. Don't fucking at me, bitch. Hawaiian pizza's shitty. I don't care if anybody...
Pineapple and Canadian bacon?
Yeah. Why don't you just get a normal pizza? Why you have to take a stand on pizza with the sweet... Like, why are you putting pineapple... maybe we're getting too off topic, but... What's your non-sponsor?
Before I transition over, I had one comment about the pineapple and Canadian bacon for the Hawaiian. It's not that bad when you throw jalapeno into the mix. right?
Yeah, but you can say that about like almost anything.
Yeah, that's true. That was going to be my follow-up, was like, you pretty much put jalapenos on any pizza and it makes it better. It's one of those like superior toppings. So my non-sponsor is rice-a-roni, for the simple fact that what's the aroni part for? It's rice. It's just rice, right? It's just rice. So why is it rice-a-roni? I mean,
I wish you would have told me that was what you were gonna say beforehand, because
what do
I
you
was not prepared to hear that. That's a good point. I don't have any follow-up.
No, I mean, I like to think like my head, I try to think back, and I'm like, maybe like I remember some of those kind of fucking like things where they put like tomatoes in there or something else mixed in, but then I'm like, no, that was a dry ass little box of fucking rice with seasoning, so they did not have anything in there but rice. Like, why aroni? Like, is it supposed to be like, oh, some of them are long grain, so it's like macaroni, but not really. Like
that couldn't have been the thought process. Like they must have just been like, it sounds cool, because yeah, there's no like logical explanation for adding aroni at the end.
They're
of
like,
that.
at the time, they're like, macaroni's really fucking trend, or they can't even say trending because that shit didn't exist back then. There's fucking, oh, macaroni's, that Kraft mac and cheese is really taking off. We should fucking bite off of their name with our rice.
They got
with
those
fucking seasoning on it.
They got this fucking dinosaur swimming in cheese over there. Kids love that shit.
Why didn't we think to make them into shapes? Oh, why?
If only we had made our rice into shapes.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I think they've done like the lewd versions of that where they have like dick-shaped macaroni and or like instead of the dinosaurs, it's penis-shaped mac and cheese. But I'm like, what's that good for? Like a bachelorette party, and why are they eating fucking mac and cheese at a bachelorette party?
I just wanted to get the taste of other guys' dicks out of my mouth, because
now I want cheesy fake dicks instead of real dicks.
Yeah, you know, bachelorette parties. They try to give guys a lot of shit about the bachelor party where they go fucking like, oh yeah, we just got some strippers. Well, a bachelorette party, they actually are sucking guys' dicks on those trips. Like, at least at a stripper bachelor party, it's like we're just like letting a chick get naked in front of us. We're not fucking her. I know what happens at the bachelorette parties. They're fucking sucking guys' dicks. They're going to the club and fucking, you know, I mean, power to them. That's what you're supposed to do when you go on it. But don't pretend that it's a big deal that your guy went and saw a stripper when you're doing, you know. Anyways, I digress.
Yeah, we can't really reveal any more secrets to the bachelor party. They've been unwise enough to let us know what goes on at bachelorette parties, but I don't want to be credited with.
Everybody knows. Come on, it's no fucking secret.
All right, so for today's show, we're gonna get into another tale of public defecation. We're going to give you a McAfee update. Going to do a little bit of hella fancy, and then we'll close it all out with a Faberge Egg update that you guys so desperately want, deserve, and
most
need.
requested segment. Just
yes,
saying.
it's true. All the feedback I get is like, wow, I didn't know that much about Faberge Eggs, and I'm like, well, I'm glad that we could bring that to you. If that's all that we can provide to everyone out there, I'm happy. But before we get into any of that, so obviously we're here in a single studio, which means I have moved a little bit closer. I have ventured into living in San Francisco, and I have a few things that I want to talk about that I've witnessed along the way. Some of it good, some of it bad, but like overall, it's been pretty enjoyable. I think I'll start with the good things. Like you normally see like just crazy shit in a big city, but I found like I feel like I've seen some like especially weird ones. Like I was getting off of the public transit, going to work one morning, and I get off like in the middle of the downtown area, Powell Station, and I'm on that street and I'm just like walking, minding my own business. And I see some guy just out of nowhere, like he already started in front of me, got some fucking ear can headphones on, and he just starts skipping down the street, like speed skipping, like he's in some kind of fucking Apple commercial, like some music commercial. Like you've seen this shit before, where they're like dancing in the streets.
Fall into the gap.
Yeah, and I'm like, this guy, I don't know what the fuck he is listening to, but he's just on a good one today. Like, what did he do? Like, that fucking thought, like, yeah, I'm just gonna fucking speed skip, like, down the street, and then he stops and, like, turns around, and he's, like, listening to his music. I'm like, this shit is unreal to me. Like, I've never fucking seen somebody that's not, because he wasn't a homeless crazy person, like, by any means. Like, he was well dressed, like, had to have had a decent job, I assume. So it just, like, struck me off guard. It's like, okay, like, it's nice to see something weird that's not just some crazy ass motherfucker screaming nonsense at you. That was a kind of a pleasant one.
Yeah, you'd never really encountered that too often, where you're like just somebody like totally entranced with joy and just kind of enjoying themselves in public or
no,
whatnot.
It's usually misery or just fucking sorrow.
Yeah, but most public, yeah. I know, I agree. Like anytime you see anything like crazy in public, it's usually something scary, borderline like gross, disgusting, or something. It's never usually like somebody just happily skipping down the street.
Yeah, exactly. Like I would see shit on the trolley in San Diego all the time, but it'd be like my two favorite ones from there was like a guy, you know, like the street performers that put themselves in like silver or gold paint, and they'll like pop and lock and like kind of be frozen in place. Like that kind of guy, when he was off duty but still covered in silver paint, was fucking screaming at people on the trolley about like being like, you know, joining the church and like all that jazz. Like fucking, you know what, I don't know what the word is to call it, but those people that just yell at you about how you're going to hell and need to like find Jesus.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah.
We need to find salvation.
Yeah, and then I got on one time, and at one stop, a lady with a mustache got on, which is funny, funny enough for me. But then another, like 2 stops later, another lady with a mustache got on, like prominent, and I'm like, I wonder if they see each other and acknowledge, like, that they both have mustaches, or maybe one of them, or they look at each other and be like, damn, look at that bitch with the fucking mustache. She needs to wax that shit. It just oblivious to their own state.
I'd like to think that it was more along the lines of them seeing each other and then like giving like the little head nod. Be
like the head nod, like
right,
maybe a finger gun if they're real confident.
This is feminism. You know, fucking growing a mustache.
Fucking girl
This
power.
is true feminism.
Girl power. So the other positive one from San Francisco happened to me like 2 days ago, where I'm leaving work. It's like 8 o'clock at night, and I'm on the sidewalk, and there's it's starting to get a little congested, and I see a guy coming opposite direction of me on a mountain bike, which is already weird enough that everybody's riding their fucking bikes on the sidewalk. It's like kind of annoying.
They make it pretty easy.
They got bike lanes. Get in the road,
right,
bitch.
Exactly.
Like, I'm fucking tired of this shit. Like, at least none of them have hit me and never inconvenienced me. So I'm like, whatever, as long as you're like got a level of control. But this guy like saw the congestion coming, and like he's probably like 5-6 feet away from me. Yeah. He's like 5-6 feet away from me, and decides he's gonna like divert off of the sidewalk and go onto the street. And it's like I don't know, like a 6-inch drop off the side of the curb. But this dude gets ready for his like drop off the curb. Like he's ready to like bunny hop up. And then in range of me, he says to himself, full throttle, and just fucking jumps off the curb. And I'm like, that was great. It's like, in my head, I smiled. Like, it's like internal smile. I'm like, this was so great. Like, this dude was so amped about his fucking city mountain biking. Like,
bro, he's having more fun than we are. Like, I don't think I've had so much fun in a day that I've ever said full throttle in earnest.
Mm-hmm.
I probably have to go back to when I was like 8 years old to be like a moment where I'd be like saying full throttle in earnest was like an actual moment. Probably in the my single digit years. Ever since then, I don't think I've ever been jubilated enough to have that experience.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I remember being like a kid, getting my fucking sweet ass Huffy bicycle and racing the neighbor kids, and like the bike was called like the Dirt Devil, and like every time we'd begin the races, I'd be like, yeah, Dirt Devil, and then I'd like pedal extra
fucking
hard.
Dirt Devil, bitch.
Fucking smash on this shit. You guys are going, damn.
So badass. Full throttle.
Full throttle. It wasn't even aggressive. He's like, full throttle. Like, fucking
He was just enjoying it. He
Yeah.
was just like, yeah, baby,
Yeah.
full throttle.
full throttle.
Yeah. Chick was like, she was enjoying what you were giving to her, but she just wanted a little bit more. She'd be like, come on, baby, give it to me full
Yeah.
throttle,
Yeah, so those were like my positive sides of the San Francisco experience. The negative side is actually going to transition us into our next segment. So this will be, now it's a reoccurring segment, because last time we talked about the old man shitting in the bush, if you remember.
Shit. Does that mean we have to make a stinger for this? at some
Yeah,
point now?
eventually we should. But this is Tales of Public Defecation. So the entire time, from the beginning of me moving into San Francisco, I'm like, I keep hearing about all this shit everywhere that's all over the streets. And I was seeing shit, but it was like small. I'm like, that's dog shit. Like, people take bigger poops than this. Like, and then, sure enough, I fucking caught my first human pile of shit. You smell it from way too far away. It is way more distinct than, and I know that it lingers way longer than dog shit, because I've walked past the same pile of dog shit a couple times, days in a row, and I generally don't smell it at all. But when I fucking spotted a pile of human shit and it doesn't get cleaned up that day, I fucking continue to smell it from the same distance every day that I pass it. But, like, yeah, everybody knows what dog shit, because every asshole doesn't pick up their dog shit, right? So it's just like, I don't know, like finger size or like, or sausage.
It dries out fast, so
Yeah.
it's like the smell does go away pretty
Big dog.
quickly. Let's face it, nobody's going to pick up some other dog shit, so it's fucking, they just sit there until they dry out in the sun. They're not as juicy as a nice human shit,
Yeah,
Like,
the human shits from the homeless people are fucking giant, nasty mud pies. Like, it is a fucking, you wouldn't even know that it was shit, because your perception of shit is logs instead of just like pies.
well, it's what you see it's what you see when you collect diarrhea in a single location, because usually you're diarrheaing in a fucking toilet bowl and like water. But if you just diarrhea on the fucking concrete, this is what you get. This is fucking a moon pie of shit, just shit juice collected in a little location.
Yeah. The first one was, like they have bus stops and there's like benches. Like, the guy wasn't there. I luckily have not seen the active act of someone taking a shit. Oh, actually, that's not true. I think I did see that, but it was weird because I just saw someone's ass. Like, I think it was a lady's ass, but it was hard to tell.
Oh, a lady.
Like, just down an alley, where she was just bent over, and I'm like, either she's changing or she's shitting, but like, it was kind of a passing moment. But the first time I saw the human shit there was like at one of the bus stops, and they have like a couple seats, and it looked like they pulled their pants down and like pushed their ass over the edge of the back of the seat between like where the barrier would be for the bus stop, like where it's enclosed, and they just shit off the back end of there. So it's just some nasty like green pile, and it smelled real bad. But to San Francisco's credit, by the time I walked by there for lunch on my like 3 hours later, that shit was like sanitized and like pressure washed off. But the second time was off of a curb. So some guy just popped a squat off the curb and fucking took a fat moon pie all over the fucking ground. And it smells so bad. So, yeah. That is my, those are my tales of public defecation in San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta tell you, if anybody I know, you encounter a lot more human shit than most normal people.
Yeah. Most people didn't make the critical mistake of moving to San Francisco and living in the city.
But like you said, it was sanitized the next day. I mean, everybody on the meme on the whole like story that came out that they're hiring a whole shit squad. But
yeah,
fucking results, man. Yeah. They fucking take care of it in the day.
It's working.
It's fucking there. We got some people really scrubbing the shit out of that shit.
All right. On that note, we're gonna take a quick commercial break.
Yaboo.
Coming to a record store near you. Casper Cunningham's greatest hits. Relive all the classics you know and love. Stand-up classics that we'll never forget.
I had to think for a minute. And I looked at him and I said, micro penis? Don't you mean my croppiness?
Comedy legend Casper Cunningham, finally remastered in digital form.
I looked him dead in the eye and I said, don't you understand what I'm saying to you? She put the poo in the pee.
This holiday season, gather the family around and listen to some of Casper Cunningham's greatest hits.
I said, Your Honor, I didn't know she was a minority. She told me she was over 18.
The perfect gift for this holiday season. Pre-order now at Casper Cunningham's Greatest Hits Comedy Album.net.
Yaboo.
And we're back from that exciting commercial break. I think we had some things we wanted to talk about in terms of a certain former antivirus tycoon.
Well, if you're talking about John McAfee running for president, then yeah. Just a quick update, not to get too in deep, but he's apparently been captured by several different fucking provinces and governments and held in captivity.
Was that Cuba for a while, and then?
Well, he was in Cuba, yes, of course, running a campaign.
I remember
for
he
president.
threatened his like girlfriend for outing his like safe house, right?
Well, not just that. There was, I mean, people are disputing whether or not he was actually captured because it seemed so convenient how he captured on social media, the way that he did it. But recently, so he has reaffirmed that he is still running for U.S. president recently on his Twitter, and
So
also,
write-in candidate.
I mean, you know, however, yeah, clearly,
Yeah, sure.
clearly,
Why
of
not?
course. No, it's not why. I mean, yes, he's not going to be on the fucking ballot. Let's face it, yes. But outside of that, the next thing that he posted after that he declared that he was still running for president was a ridiculous card trick they played with some random guy where he bet him $10 million that he would have better cards than him. And guess, so he dealt him 4 cards and himself 4 cards. So the guy flips over his cards and it's like king or whatever. 10, 8, something. Not too bad. Then McAfee flips over his cards and it's just 4 aces. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
so it's just like a stupid trick.
Yeah.
Like, not so cool, yeah. So this is what he's doing while he's running for president. But I did want to speak onto the presidential race on one level because there's a lot going on with the Democratic Party. Let's just face it, it's a fucking shit show.
What are there, like 20 fucking people running in the in the debates? Like, they have to split, they keep splitting it up over 2 nights just because there's so many fucking people.
Not anymore because they dwindled it down. They do like the top 10. But
to only the most token of candidates.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get too political with it, but like if Joe Biden is the front runner for the Democratic Party, I'm like, what the fuck is going on, dude? This guy doesn't even know where he's at, and he's groping. Like, I know maybe I'm overblowing it a little bit
But
with
he's
him.
been made self-aware that he's been touching people inappropriately for a long
Right.
time. Yet he still does it. Like, he's still been caught after the fact and been made painfully aware by his campaign staff and the general public that he's fucking, like, gripping people's shoulders, tugging them too long, touching their hands for no reason, like.
The long embraces with like a young Asian girl. You're like, what the fuck is going on here, dude?
And
Like,
everybody's uncomfortable. You can see it in their faces in all the video evidence. Yet, like, still does it anyways.
So yeah, I mean, it's a shit show. So just as a personal note before we move on, after our little update on McAfee and the presidential race, is I do have on my bucket list. There is an item that I do want to legitimately ejaculate to the inaugural address. To say it the right way, and I feel like I'm getting so much closer in these later elections. Like Hillary would have been a long shot, maybe. But now we got, like, Tulsi's kind of out of the race, which is a big blow to my fucking bucket list.
So wait, you're saying you want to be able to jerk off to the president is what you're...
No, not that, but, well, kind of in a sense, yes and no, but specifically to the inaugural address.
Oh, okay.
Which is done by the president, so yes, to your point, yes, it is the president.
You could get away with it if there was a lady you fancied in the background of one of the other presidential inaugurations.
I guess I could find
but it
that.
would be way easier with if the president themselves were...
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really think of that loophole that you just presented to me now. But let's take a fucking moral stance. I'm gonna be like moral about it. I'm gonna be very firm with my, stance on it, and it's gonna be whoever's delivering the inaugural address. So if I can jack off to them,
your attention's focused on the speaker.
Exactly. So as a straight white male. Not to get too weird about it, but, it's got to be a woman, so we're waiting on the woman president. And let's face it, the only one that's actually in contention, that's actually on a level that I could probably squeeze one off to, is Kamala Harris. If she came out with the fire and she was president and she started getting all mad at white people and she's like, you fucking stupid white people, you reparations and stuff, I could probably bust a nut to that, So I'm kind of looking forward to that being a possibility, but I'm a little sad that it's kind of like fading away, although I like Andrew Yang, and I hope that maybe he even makes a surprise run for like the candidacy. Kamala just seems kind of like lost in the mix right now. I don't know.
You don't find Elizabeth Warren
No,
attractive?
that's the thing, is that's the word. The horrible part is that she's too motherly, and I couldn't get. I'm not into the like jacking off to a lady that served you lunch at your fucking middle school.
She lives in lunch lady land.
Yeah, she's a little too like homely. We're getting on a misogynist vein here, but let's just face it. If my bucket list idea is to jerk off and be able to bust a nut to the inaugural address, it's not going to happen with Elizabeth Warren. And that's just a personal thing. It doesn't say anything about whether I think she's the best candidate or not. It just means whether I could masturbate to her and come to completion.
What do you know? Amy Klobuchar, aka Cloud Boot Jar.
No, I've never heard that before.
She's in the running as well.
Yeah, I'm sure she's totally a legitimate candidate that didn't appear on any of the debates.
Yeah, I only know of her from like listening to like some political YouTube channel, and the guy came up with a bunch of nicknames for all the candidates.
Andrew, I'm talking about an actual like life goal here. You're coming like, oh, there's some lady that was on some random YouTube channel that's running.
No,
I do want to actually bust a nut to the inaugural address, and you're kind of, I feel like you're not taking it seriously.
Does Kamala or Tulsi Gabbard get your
yeah,
your
but
motor revving
I'm just
more?
saying, like, realistically speaking, Tulsi is not going to become president. Kamala is the one that has the best chance.
Which one do you find more attractive?
Well, Tulsi, clearly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm not going to argue with you there.
All right. Well, if we've talked about enough of that, if anybody actually listened to this, we'd probably be getting some hate mail. But anyways, so we're going to move on to our next segment, which is Hella Fancy. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it.
right, so today's segment for Hella Fancy, we wanted to discuss this piece of extravagant furniture that it's basically a full-scale hippopotamus, but one half of the hippopotamus is carved out to be a couch. And, like, that sounds cool on its own, but it also costs a fucking $100,000.
Yeah, it's listed just under. It's like, it's a ridiculously like 99,950 or some stupid shit. Like it's $100,000.
Yeah.
It's a fucking. It's crazy.
I mean, I come from a product development background, and I can confidently tell you that nothing should cost you $100,000 to make like anything of. Like, if you have any idea what you're doing, like, no.
Well, I mean, the best thing about that, when you shared this with me, I gotta be honest, I went to every person that I knew at work, which is a new workplace, so this is kind of a bold statement. I went to every person that I knew at work as a new employee and told them, like, this is what I want. Like, this fucking $100,000.
This is my goal, guys.
Hippopotamus couch.
This is the sales
Exactly.
we're trying to generate. I need to be able to afford this
I'm like,
comfortably.
you guys go out there and get those fucking accounts, because, like, if we don't get the commissions, like, there's no way I'm getting this fucking couch. And this is the ultimate flex on your friends.
Yeah, you're like, just imagine what kind of house I need to buy in order to have this couch in my house.
No, not even that. Like, the ultimate flex on your friends. Like, imagine I'm watching football on Sunday, you know, I invite my buddy Mario over, and he comes over, and I'm like, hey, why don't you have a seat in my fucking hippopotamus couch? Oh, did I mention it's $100,000? So, yeah, why don't you stop eating that fucking burrito, you fucking low-level piece of shit?
Don't spill your food or drinks on this shit, or you're fucking dead. Like, it literally comes with security service. They will kill you if you fuck up my couch.
Dude,
that's what $30,000 of this couch is just security service for the couch.
You contract the security for a year with the $30,000.
You don't actually own the couch. You're actually renting it for a year.
The one thing I did enjoy especially about it is the idea that, like, they tried to justify the cost in the description of the item when you sent it to me. They're like, over, like, you know, the most handcrafted, meticulous production. I'm like, even if that were so, you telling me the handcrafted, meticulous production was done where? How expensive was it exactly? Because handcrafted, meticulous production is done for a lot of shoes, and they're done for like dimes on the dollar with fucking cheap-ass Asian labor. So the fact that they're even trying to establish that argument for the price justification in the description of the item is, like, pretty suspect to begin with.
It's for sure just some artsy dildo just fucking like, he's taking way too long and has no idea what he's doing. Like, so he's just, like, sculpting it out of clay, and then he has to make some giant ass kiln to fucking stick a full-size hippopotamus in. It's like, you should have just fucking killed a real hippopotamus and fucking taxidermied that shit and then cut out the side of it. And for that matter, like, a hippopotamus, it's like the most deadliest animal that fucking kills all these people in Africa. That's because people are fucking stupid and they think it's friendly. A rhino is a way fucking cooler animal to taxidermy and turn into a couch than a fucking hippopotamus. I would pay $200,000 for the fucking rhino couch with the horn intact, because we gotta have the intact horn. Because I don't want no fucking poached dead rhino that I'm putting in my living room. I want it in its prime.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. The rhino. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about it. It looks stupid and goofy. Like, I don't care if it kills a lot of people. Like, the rhino's got the horn. Let's face it, we all know, like, on the black market it's expensive.
Like, the hippos, like, they got some fierce, like, tusks that jut out of, like, the middle of their upper mouth.
Oh, big deal. It's got overgrown teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, real cool.
I find it weird, but at least it's something. But they don't even show the hippo with the mouth open. It's fucking closed. It's stupid.
Yeah, that's right. Well, fuck that. I mean, what's cooler? Some overgrown teeth or a fucking horn coming out of your fucking dome, bro? Like a horn, dude.
Fucking phallic, fierce rhino couch. 200 G's. I think we should take a moment to transition over to what everybody really wants to know.
Yeah, it's another edition of Faberge Egg Update, and one thing that caught my attention recently is on the Newswire. You know, I'm plugged into Faberge Eggs, of course. This is what I do. This is the whole reason we do the podcast, and a lot of times that there's big lapses in time between when we do them is because, let's face it, there's not a lot of Faberge Egg news going on a lot of times.
It's just everything is filler, and then This is just Faberge Egg Update by another name.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm glad that you all stuck around for all the bullshit to finally get to the Faberge Egg Update.
We appreciate all of you that didn't just fast forward to the end for this part.
Yeah, I do want you to hear the rest of this, but I mean, I know that you guys are here for the Faberge Egg Update. So, again, not a lot going on, again, with the Faberge Egg Update, just in terms of eggs found. But there was something that was very unique that I saw pop up as I am plugged in, as I mentioned before. There's this weird story about Elton John, like, that's just come up in the news cycle again. The Faberge Egg news cycle, mind you. You probably haven't seen it in the mainstream media. It's kind of obscure. But apparently in the late 70s, he went and visited the Kremlin, and he made a bombastic statement after visiting it that he wasn't that impressed. And one of the biggest reasons he was not impressed was that he claimed at the time they had a bigger Faberge Egg collection than the Kremlin itself. And I think this made me so angry when I read this. Like, I was so mad because it's such an irresponsible piece of journalism that was floating through the news waves. I'm like, okay, so you're taking some hearsay story from a fucking eccentric music artist about something as majestic and timeless as the fucking Imperial Faberge Egg collection, and you're just taking his word for it and saying that there's no fucking way that he had more Faberge eggs than the fucking Kremlin at the time. He's just being a fucking flamboyant, crazy artist at the time. Like, why is this floating around? So I just want to remind everybody once and for all that the only definitive source for Faberge Egg news information is FabergeEggUpdate.com, because you're going to get fooled by all this, we're just reporting on speculation bullshit that you see in the fucking mainstream media about Faberge eggs. Just come to the source. Just come to FabergeEggUpdate.com. I'm not going to fucking fill your ears with stupid bullshit about some story that some guy told about having more Faberge eggs. I'm going to tell you when we actually find Faberge eggs. I'm going to tell you when that happens. And if you don't want your news feed cluttered with stupid bullshit, then just come to my source directly.
Well said. Well said. Also, #KillSpace. Don't forget, guys.
Yeah.
Space, it's a danger to us all.
I recently we were thinking, cause I think about Kill Space on the daily. So whenever I'm back home from work, this is probably the first thing I think about outside of the existential crisis of loneliness.
You wake up, I'm lonely. Oh yeah, but space is there.
Yeah. Well, it's a terrifying thing to me. Like, I'd rather But we also caught wind of other we're not gonna get too into it because it's kind of political, but now it's the race to kill space.
Yeah.
So we actually really do need your ideas. Like, I haven't got any fucking ideas from anybody yet about how to kill space. So we actually do really need them now because it's a race to kill space.
I mean, America's #1. We need to stay there. We need to be the first ones to kill space.
Yeah.
And if you need some incentive, I mean, remember how we used to have dinosaurs on Earth? They got to exist on other planets in space. You don't want those things coming back here. We better take them all out. I'm talking all of them. Only way to do that, kill space.
If there's even a 1% chance that there's dinosaurs in space, we have to kill space.
I don't want velociraptors going through my cornfields, taking out my children.
That's what's going to happen if they're in space.
It is. Kill space. Guys, all of it. All of it gone.
More to come on the kill space stuff. I think that part of the issue is that it's all very deep-seated knowledge and like kind of like underground back-running stuff. We really want to get the word out on that. So stay tuned for more information about awareness event about kill space.
We'll have stickers that you can slap on light poles to promote soon. I don't know where you're going to buy them.
Maybe.
I'm going to stick them in random, those like free newspaper like kiosks you see next to garbage cans. I'm going to put those in and around San Francisco area, you be on the lookout for them. You let us know when you find them. But kill space.
More importantly, tell your friends about
Yeah.
Kill Space.
I'm telling you, I think the sticker movement is stronger than any internet movement we can create. Sticker slapping, it's coming back, guys.
All right,
It's
so-
like the cheap man. It's like the non-artist way to spread their graffiti, but stickers. Anyways, Keyboard Cat, you want to play us out?
Yeah, so this has been a successful completion of Hellrat 2.0 with Andrew moving up because I forced him to. Let's just face it.
Yeah,
he came up
that's the
because
only reason
I'm a better friend than he is,
Yeah.
so he had to come up here. But yeah, if you actually do like this, follow us. I know we've promised a more consistent schedule.
We're on Spotify now.
We are on Spotify. That's a good point. So look up Hellrat. You should be able to find it there pretty easily. It's Hellrat on Twitter, Hellrat on Facebook. And yeah, FabergeEggUpdate.com again as the most reliable source of information about Imperial Faberge eggs and updates as they happen. So until next time, y'all, thanks for listening.
Yaboo. Kill yourself and burn and
You
delete
stupid-
everything you've ever thought of.